It was a cold, rainy evening, the kind of night when even the street dogs searched desperately for shelter. The alleys of the city were soaked, glistening with the harsh yellow glow of flickering street lamps. Amidst the decay of overflowing garbage bins and the silence of forgotten streets, an unexpected encounter was about to change two lives forever. Tanya, a 19-year-old girl with messy hair, torn slippers, and a fragile frame, wandered back home from her long day of working at the flower stall. Her tiny hands carried a near-empty basket, the scent of wilted roses barely clinging to her clothes. She wasn't just poor, she was invisible. Every day, the world passed by her without a glance. But her heart, though burdened, was still kind, still alive with compassion. As she crossed the corner of 7th Avenue near the back alley of an upscale hotel, she paused. Something unusual caught her eye. A heap of trash rustled, not the kind of movement you expect from a rat or a cat. Carefully, she crept forward and saw what looked like a man lying amidst the garbage bags, his suit torn, his face bruised, reeking of alcohol. He was unconscious. Rich people didn't belong in places like this. But there he was, a man who had clearly once known luxury, now sleeping next to rotten vegetables and broken glass. Most would have walked away. Tanya didn't. She knelt beside him, gently tapped his shoulder. "Sir, hello, are you all right?" No answer. The rain started falling harder. She had no umbrella. Her home, a broken wooden shack beneath an abandoned flyover, wasn't even a proper shelter, but it was better than this. With immense effort, she dragged the man along, step by agonizing step. Her back ached, her palms scraped on the pavement. People stared, some laughed, others simply looked away, but she didn't stop until she got him to her home, covered him with her thin blanket, and waited. Hours passed. When the man finally stirred, his eyes fluttered open. He was confused, disoriented. Where am I?" he croaked, gripping his head in pain. "You're safe," Tanya replied softly, offering him a cup of warm water and a piece of old bread. "You were lying in the trash. I couldn't leave you there." He looked around. Dirt walls, a dripping roof, a broken chair. He blinked. "You brought me here?" he asked in disbelief. "Yes," she replied with a weak smile. "You were hurt. I didn't know who you were, but I couldn't just walk away." That man was Ahan Khanna, the CEO of Khanna Global Tech, a billionaire who'd gone missing 3 days ago after a public meltdown at a corporate gala. Unknown to the world, Ahan had reached a breaking point. After losing his wife and daughter in a tragic car crash 6 months ago, he spiraled into depression. The media painted him as arrogant, heartless. He stopped attending meetings, fired half his board, and vanished, leaving behind scandal, gossip, and chaos. And now, here he was, in the hands of a girl who had nothing but a heart full of empathy. Ahan tried to sit up, but his body ached. Tanya helped him. She didn't ask for anything. No selfies, no favors, no questions. She offered him water, tore her only remaining shawl to wrap around his shivering shoulders, and let him rest. Days passed. He stayed there for 3 nights. Tanya would bring him water, leftover food she begged from the nearby dhaba, and patiently sit beside him. She told him about her life, how she lost her parents to illness, how she fought every day to survive, how the city made her feel small. "I clean tables at night, sell flowers during the day. Sometimes I wash clothes," she said. "But someday I want to open a school for kids like me. That's my dream." Ahan was stunned. "Why a school?" "Because people like me never get the chance to learn. I want to change that," she said simply. On the 4th day, Ahan stood outside the shack, looking up at the sunrise. For the first time in months, he felt something other than numbness. He felt alive. "I have to go," he told Tanya. "But I will never forget what you did for me." She nodded, not expecting anything in return. But he wasn't lying. 3 weeks later, Tanya was back at her flower stall. The same dirty clothes, the same tired eyes. Then suddenly, a black car stopped in front of her. 2 men stepped out. She stepped back in fear. "Are you Tanya?" one asked. "Why yes, you're requested to come with us. Mr. Khanna is waiting." Confused, frightened, she followed them. When she arrived at the Khanna Global headquarters, her eyes widened in disbelief. Red carpet, security guards, cameras, people bowing, and there he stood, Ahan Khanna, in a crisp blue suit, smiling warmly. He walked toward her and knelt in front of her, holding out a small wooden box. Inside was a golden key. "What is this?" she whispered. "Your new school," he said, tears forming in his eyes. I bought a property near your home. Fully furnished, fully funded. You'll run it, I'll handle everything else. Her hands trembled. But, why? Because when the whole world ignored me, you didn't. You saw a broken man and gave him a reason to believe again. And you reminded me that kindness still exists. You saved me, Tanya. News spread like wildfire. The billionaire saved by a poor girl. The world was shocked. Social media exploded. But Tanya stayed the same, humble, quiet, and deeply grateful. Ahan made her head of the foundation he created in her name, the Tanya Hope Foundation, building schools in slums across the country. Her story inspired millions. She was invited to TV shows, honored by the government, and loved by children everywhere. One evening, sitting beside her classroom, Tanya looked at Ahan and asked, "Do you ever regret that night?" He smiled. "No, it was the worst and best night of my life. Because in a pile of garbage, I found gold, a girl with the heart of an angel." And so, the poor girl who once fed a stranger with her last piece of bread went on to feed thousands with education, hope, and love. Let this story remind us all, sometimes, the greatest riches lie not in what we own, but in what we give.